Before I start the reading, there is importance on knowing different forms of energy attachments that are not through people, that are not through witchcraft or any human manipulation. It is a type of entities that exist in a higher realm, and they can come off as higher beings, vibrationally higher, because they do exist in a higher state of consciousness. But they are not of the light. They do not focus on seeding light into the world. And they're actually here to do the opposite, right? It's to seed more darkness, heavier energies on this planet. There are some entities that benefit from the world staying in a more 3D energy rather than evolving to the next type of energetic exchange. So what I'm seeing is that there needs to be protection, and protection can come in the form of crystals, in the form of incense, which I have lit here with intentions, of course, and prayer. And if you want a more tangible sense of protection from the spiritual, you can really use smoke. Using smoke is going to be a visual cue for you that negative energies are leaving your area, that they are not allowed in your space. And then and if it's holy wood like Palo Santo, or the incense that I'm burning right now, which is Guanyin incense, and there's so many different types of smudging that you can do if you prefer a more visible way of cleansing a space, right? Some people that just prefer energetic. Another way to do it is to call back your energy, which is, taking a couple of deep breaths, getting situated with yourself, and then calling back your energy. Like literally calling it back, saying it. I call back my energy now. And any entities attached to me are no longer allowed to stay. Like that. And if you can feel the energy around you, you will feel a clearing and you will feel lighter. But if you're still new and energy work is still something that you can't really sense yet, it's easier to use smudging tools like what I mentioned earlier. What else? I feel like I was just brought to really pay attention to that, because I feel like as there are more intuitives, empaths, light workers emerging, it's important to also understand what works against you as well, right? Whether it be internal or external. A lot of these higher dimensional variables, they want you to believe things. They want you to see things in a certain way, and they want you to stick to it. Because then you become a kind of a conduit, kind of an energy point, because we all kind of, as humans and any creature living here, we all are little pinpoints of energy on this earth. And depending on how much energy is being directed, whether it be good or bad, that's what the state of that general area is going to be, So it's really important that you understand that you are such a powerful conduit. And when we get into energy work, it's really important to know what energy is ours versus a outlier, right? And when we have outliers, it's really important to see it, to point it out, right? Because what is the first thing fear makes you do? It makes you run. It makes you not question things, and it makes you just want to leave the other direction to find safety, right? But what they don't tell you is that that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you not look at it so it can persist, right? A fear is just a tactic. Fear has always just been a tactic. And here it's no different. When you enter the energetic world, when you're working with energy, there are other entities that are not human, that are not human born, that are actually higher dimensional beings. So they are perceived as spirit guides, but in reality, a lot of them can actually be manipulators. And that is one of the things that we really need to work on as a community. Understand that not all guides that come to us are here for our highest good, are here to guide us into a higher state of being. A lot of this energy work that is occurring in our community is tied to, I've seen a lot tied to lust. I've seen a lot tied to vain, kind of like, and it's tied to breaking down bonds rather than creating beautiful, meaningful bonds. Right? So we're all kind of prepped to be more paranoid. We're more prepped to be more unsure about people coming into our lives. And I guess I'm just here to say, like, don't believe everything you hear just because they say they are an energy worker. They say that they are here for the highest light. Sometimes the information that comes out isn't actually rooted in anything higher energetically at all. It's rooted in the sense to keep us stuck in a state of paranoia, of fear, of untrust, of solitude, of not relying on community anymore. And so just take that as it is. You don't need to like absorb it too much. Just understand that there is a lot out there. And if you're new, there's a lot to learn as well. And it's really important to protect yourself and not only just believe that you're protected, but to actually be more proactive about protecting yourself and not call yourself paranoid when you do protective acts, because what you're doing is actually taking care of your energetic field. What you're doing is making sure there are no parasitic energies attached to you, because those things do exist. And when they are higher dimensional, it's not about calling them in. Most of the time, it's not about calling those parasites in. We never do. But the thing is, with these higher energy beings, they work based on attraction. So if you are vibrating at a certain level, you are attracted, you are aligned with that energy of that parasite, and that is the binding thing that binds you to that parasite. And that parasite will make you kind of believe that more and more, so that the bond becomes stronger and stronger because they benefit off of you. That is parasitic in nature, right? They benefit off of you while you do not benefit off of them. You sustain their life while they just take more of yours, right? That's parasitic. So understand that there's just so much to be aware of, but not to be afraid of. Because as we do this healing work, we become a more whole, a more clear version of ourselves, not only in the physical world, but in the spiritual, in the world of energy. Okay, there are different types of seeing life, and us humans have been evolved to see through very tangible things, right? But there are also forms of energy that we cannot perceive. Even if we work on our intuition, even if we work on our energy field, there are still things that we just cannot perceive. And it's really important to not, get a big head about, oh, I'm protected, I don't need to worry about this. It's like, to some extent, that's true when it comes to other people. But higher vibrational entities can still exist in a negative form, and they're not helpful at all to what you're trying to do. And so I think Spirit really just came in here to teach you. It's like a teaching moment. It's not really like saying that you're in any danger. It's just that, as we step into this more energy work, this more energetic field work, it's important to understand the types of nuances that you do have to deal with when it comes to this kind of work. And it's not that if you don't do this kind of work that you don't get hit by this. Everyone kind of has the same subjectivity to these entities. It's just that some people want to see it, some people don't want to see it because it makes them very uncomfortable. But when you're going through healing, you're going to realize that a lot of these things that we thought were just spiritual in nature are actually brought on by parasitic forms, by parasitic entities. I used to be huge about past life energy, and I thought I just never got like a good reboot when I came to this life, because I kind of I have an awareness of all of the, not all, but a lot of the past lives that have affected me until this point. And I thought it was for my highest good. I really did. I was like, okay, well, obviously there's still trauma here from that life. Let me just work through it. But as I worked through it and as I got more okay with what happened in my past life, wow, this smoke is just going straight for my face the entire time. So yeah, there's entities that would rather not let me say this, but the smoke is doing its job, so I'm going to let it linger all around me. And try not to breathe it in too much. But what was I saying? Oh yes, past life, there are entities that can kind of subject you to those timelines where you exist, right? Because the idea of timelines themselves is that they are existing as you are, even if they are considered of the past. The present moment when you are feeling it is when you are experiencing it. So it's just a constant, like, your past lives are here with you now, and you are here in your past lives still. It, like, saying it past lives kind of makes it confusing. So it's just like timelines, different timelines, right? I have a timeline in Egypt. I have a timeline in China. I have a timeline in America as well. And they all coexist together. I can recall like what I'm doing at the present moment in that life. And a lot of people will kind of just see it as that, right? Like a connection to the past, that there is nothing really that harmful when it comes to that. And a lot of people have actually said there's a lot of healing that comes from it, which is true. But there's also a thing where sometimes the information that comes through is not necessary. Sometimes the aspect of what is being shown to you isn't actually something that will help you. It's something that kind of keeps you stuck. So be aware that what you're being shown can actually be affected by other spirits, by other entities. It's not you just tapping into your timelines. It's what you remember could possibly be because another entity is feeding that to you. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's part of your past life. But is it helpful for you right now? Is it really that important that you see this certain vision? Sometimes it's no. Sometimes it's not. Right? And sometimes it's hard to digest, and we might say that it's not helpful. But here I have digested everything that I've had to experience in my past lives. I had to drink poison at one point in my past lives in Egypt. I was betrayed by my family and another. It's just a whole bunch of stuff, right, that we just kind of have to come to acceptance with because we've lived it already. And like, even if we can like go back to the now, because the now is always the now, right? If you are back in a timeline where it's of the past, you are still there now. Okay, don't think of time as linear. Think of time as like a spiral, or like a endless mirror kind of thing, where you are here now, but you are also there, and you are also there. And anytime you go back, you're actually there right now, because you are where you are right now. Sorry, it just gets so wild. And so it's hard to like really navigate it through a video, because I feel like it takes at least like 20 minutes for me to break something down really heavily, that, you know, a lot of people would want like one little blip that kind of summarizes everything. But quantum physics, anything quantum will help you understand what I'm talking about. And they're saying, do not forget to cleanse your back as well. I'm seeing like spots of when pain manifests in an energetic form, it leaves a hole in your energy field. It leaves a hole that can be siphoned, that can be attached to, that can be manipulated, right? So I'm seeing that there's like this hole in your back that you're not seeing because it's right behind you, and you can't reach it because it's in a spot that you can't reach. But it's a hole in your energetic field that needs to be closed. And how you can do this is by going to a practitioner that does Reiki, that does energy healing, light energy healing, not just any energy healing, light energy healing, because it's your light energetic field that is being affected. It's not your actual body, right? So this light healing energy needs to occur, or healing needs to happen for your back, because there is a hole, and this hole is being it's being made bigger and bigger and bigger because of a fear that you may have right now. And this fear has to do with partnership. This fear has to do with relationships. This fear has to do with abandonment. And so you guys might have dealt with a lot of abandonment in your childhood. And what does abandonment look like in a childhood? Because we can say a bunch of things, but if we don't know what we're talking about, we don't know what we're talking about. Abandonment shows up in parents not being able to understand you. It's even as simple as that. Every child will have some kind of wound, some kind of trauma that they have to live through, because as a human, it is so limited. Human parents cannot deliver absolutely everything to a human child, right? And so there's always going to be some form of trauma that happens, and it's not to blame the parents, it's not to blame the person. It just is. That's just the way things are right now. And it may change later, but what I'm seeing with you is that there's an abandonment wound where your emotional needs were never met. You were always pushed down. You were always seen as the issue because you always spoke out, and you always had to kind of have your own back, because you knew that anytime you spoke out about something that was going wrong in your life, other people would take offense to it and somehow make it about them and not really see you for who you are. And that type of abandonment is an emotional wound. It's an energy that's like, oh, I'm not worth the trouble. Oh, I'm too much trouble. Oh, people around me just don't get me. I'm too sensitive. Things like that. So I'm seeing that's kind of building and building and building because it just hasn't been addressed yet. And so right now in your adult life, you might be more avoidant. You might be more dismissive. And these aren't wrong. These are literally just traits that, you know, humans kind of bear for a while after they've gone through something really horrendous. And it's not to blame them. It's not to point a finger and call them any names. Because I know a lot of people on social media like to do that these days, where they're like, you're just an avoidant. Like, just leave all the avoidance alone. Don't love them. They're not worth the time. It's stuff like that, right? And so what I'm seeing is that it's not about the labels per se. It's just about how it's manifesting right now. And it's manifesting in a form where you're unable to trust relationships. You're unable to trust partnerships that you actively are building right now. Okay, there's still a part of you that's like, well, I don't know what this person's up to. I don't know. So I'm going to make sure that all my ducks are in a row, because if they ever fill in the blank, then I still have my own. Right? And that's a survival tactic for sure. But to be that strategic means that you have come from a place where people have not had your back. You've had to kind of deal with things alone and make it out of the mud alone. You had to pull yourself out. And that doesn't mean you're weaker for experiencing that. It makes you stronger, but it doesn't and just because you're not ready for a relationship, it doesn't mean that you're not like a healthy individual. You know, sometimes people just aren't ready for a relationship because of things that they haven't met, but it doesn't mean that they're unruly, that they're not able to meet others where they are, not able to do all the things that other people do. It's just something that they have to live with. It's an extra thing that they have to live with. And it doesn't make them weaker, right? I think you have an idea that somehow your pain makes you a lot weaker. And that actually pisses me off, because that's not true. Your pain has made you incredibly strong. Your pain has led you to not only develop yourself as a person, you've developed your mind, you've developed your energy work, you've developed so much more than people that have not experienced this pain. So you are not, in fact, weaker for having these pains. You are so much stronger for even having to live through them and carry them forward as you grow, as you mature. You're still doing the things everyone else does, but then you're also doing more than what everyone else does. So how does that ever make you weaker? Right? It's only people that want to manipulate you that will call you weaker for not showing up in the way that they desire. And that is selfish. That is inherently selfish of the people that you're dealing with. And I will say it because I don't care. It is true. A lot of humans these days are freaking selfish. And I can't really be that upset, because there's a part of me that is selfish as well, right? Because of all the traumas I've been through. But it doesn't necessarily mean I don't know how to love others. It doesn't mean that I don't know how to trust others. It doesn't mean that I'm inherently an awful person. It's just that I've learned that being independent can grant me a lot more freedom that is more geared towards what I want. And so being selfish is just kind of part of that independence, right? We can't just allow everyone to have a piece of us. We are only one person. I only have my energy. I don't siphon other people's energy. And so I only have my energy. So if I want to be selfish with it, I will. But the thing is, people take it really far. And I've noticed that in myself as well. So what I'm speaking about is from experience. It's not just calling people out and pointing fingers. It's the thing that leads people to narcissism, right? Feeling so unsafe within the environment that you have chosen, by the way. Now that you're an adult, the environment that you're in is your chosen environment. It is no longer, I am stuck here, I have no way of getting out. It is, I am choosing this and I can feel it daily, but I am not doing anything to get out of it. And so I am okay with where I am. That's what you're telling the universe. That's the energy that you put out. Okay? Wherever you are, it doesn't matter how much you complain. If you are still in that environment, it's your choice, because as an adult, we all have free will. And yes, there are other parameters, but at the end of the day, if you can choose your own happiness, you choose the lifestyle that you prefer living in, there's nothing wrong with that. So you may have been called selfish as well. I'm hearing, a lot of people are attacking you, and it may be like more gossipy, and may just be more like energetic that you're feeling. And that's why I've kind of had to go on this whole spot. I haven't even pulled out a tarot card. This is all channeled messaging. So, yeah, there's just some aspects that are still being met within you regarding your childhood, regarding the way you've had to grow up. A lot of it has to do with abandonment wounds. And so diving into that might help you. Just understand what you've been through, because the only reason why this energy comes up is to be understood, is to be seen. It's simple. It's not like you need to dissect it and then heal and fix everything within that second. No, it's just meeting yourself where others told you that they couldn't meet you. Meeting yourself and treating yourself with the care and patience that you needed from a parent, a guardian when you were growing up, right? So it's things like that. And that's why self-care is very important too when it comes to healing. It's not just buying products. It's literally showing yourself care. Showing that you care about you. And that can just show up in emotional, in just acknowledging. Because if you are dismissive right now, it's probably because you've dealt with very dismissive adults growing up. Right? And so now you're like, well, no one cared about that regarding me, so I'm not going to care about that regarding you. But what needs to happen is that, other people couldn't see me where I was, so they discarded me, they dismissed me. I'm not going to do that to myself. I will see myself fully. I will accept myself fully, and I will be here unrelentlessly for myself. I will never give up on myself the way others have given up on me. Because the way others have given up on me, it just shows that I still really am worthy. It just shows that I have a capacity here to do something for myself. I'm seeking something from others, but it's clear that they don't want to give it to me. And so I will give it to myself. I will not withhold from me. Right? And outside that looks kind of selfish because it means you're pulling back. It means you're no longer relying on other people to give you advice. It's no longer relying on others for anything. And that can make you look really standoffish, make you look really like loner type. But truly, it's you just giving to yourself. Who cares what other people think? Right now, you're caring about you. Obviously, others could not show up for you in the way that you desired growing up. So now do it for yourself. Do it for you now. Don't wait for other people to do it for you because they won't. They won't do anything that is not necessary. Right? Unless they freaking love you like crazy and they just want to give you the entire world, where there are people like that. And there are times where you experience a love like that, no matter who you are. And, but if those people aren't around, make sure you're one of those people, because that's how you're going to attract those kind of people, right? You need to show up for yourself, take care of yourself. Don't let those, that upbringing really determine how you feel about yourself now, because it's not about that anymore. It's like, just sharing, my mom has done the most harm to me emotionally growing up. And, every time that I tried to bring it up before, she would tell me, you need to stop remembering these things. You need to stop bringing them up. You need to move on. You need to move forward. And you can't just keep living in this energy. And, before I used to be mad. And then there was a moment where she told me that again, expecting me to kind of flip out. But this time I'm like, no, you're right. And that's why I'm taking care of things. But the emotional wound is still there. And sometimes I will feel it. I'm not latched onto it. I really do want to move forward. And I really do want a life that is just more about me and not about you. And that'll happen. That'll happen in due time, right? As long as we're capable of letting go every time it comes up. Because we need to teach our bodies, we need to teach our mind that yes, there is this flow of protection energy that we feel whenever we remember our childhood, right? But it's also important to realize, oh, but I am an adult now. That child lives within me. I am the protector of that child now. And as long as I am in control and allow your inner child to come through, then there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing, basically. There's so many people that are like, oh, this person is wrong for being dismissive. This person is wrong for being avoidant. But others don't really take into account what that person has been through. They just like to label others, basically, based on where they are, on how they've processed their trauma. And I'm here to say, F all those labels. I don't care about them, and you shouldn't either. If people want to call you that, it's because they just can't really give you the time and attention that is required in order for that healing to occur. And they would just rather point something out wrong in you so that they don't have to point something out wrong in them. Okay? A lot of people would like to say that dismissives and avoidance are the issue in relationships, and I agree with that. A lot of them shouldn't be in relationships because they are not in the right mind to be in a relationship. But does that mean that they're not allowed to exist? Does that mean that they're not allowed to continue healing so that they get out of that energy? Does that mean that they are labeled as that for the rest of their lives? It's kind of like people just like to point and laugh and talk. And that's all they do. They don't heal. They don't integrate. They don't ask why. They prefer pointing at others. They don't ask why they enjoy laughing at others. All they do is just the same thing, right? Over and over again. They find someone new to do it to, and they do it all over again. It's like a cycle of just love bombing and then pointing a finger, and then it's just so that they can end up hating them. I think that's a really weird part of society right now, where it's all we want to do is label others so that we can just hate them based on what qualities we don't like. There's so much nuance to life for that to just be the baseline of reality. A dismissive avoidant will not stay a dismissive avoidant for the rest of their lives. They will heal, and they will get out of that, and they will become more securely attached. It's just allow people to freaking flow. Allow people to be dynamic individuals. If they were hurting one moment, it doesn't mean that they're going to be that way for the rest of their lives. So annoying. Yeah, I do get annoyed very easily, but when it comes to just people that annoys me the most. It makes me just want to grab their hairs and go grow the fuck up. Why are you entertaining that? Why are you entertaining the idea of labeling someone and then laughing at them in their face just so that you can say that you don't like them? And then move on to someone else that you don't like and then do the same thing over again. That is such a weird, low vibrational way of connecting with other people. That's literally that's hate bonding. That's bonding over hatred. How do you think that relationship's gonna go if that's the way you guys bond? And I feel I'm not really saying it as you guys are the ones doing it. I feel other people are doing it to you. And so I'm just what the heck? I'm just tapping into the energy, and I'm everyone needs to freaking calm down, because everyone does not stay where they are for the rest of their lives, okay? And I'm gonna leave it there because this energy is making me more angry. And it's not that I'm unable to deal with it, it's just that I don't want to. So I'm going to shut down the transmission right now. And I'm going to just probably do another reading, but hopefully it's geared more towards you, collective, and what you're doing in the midst of all this chatter.